Hi, welcome back to step-by-step-guitartuition.com. This is the 6th lesson in the Step 1 module, and in this lesson I'm going to show you some simple strumming patterns. Strumming is probably the most common technique that a guitarist will use, but it's often the most overlooked in favour of flashier lead guitar techniques. A good rhythmic strumming pattern can bring a simple 3-chord song to life, and by using variations of the pattern you can give the song any number of different feels or styles. To hear some good examples of strumming patterns, just listen to some unplugged recordings of artists such as Nirvana or Eric Clapton, so that you can listen to the rhythm guitars more clearly. In the following examples I'll be using the chords A, D and E major that we looked at in lesson 1 to demonstrate the strumming patterns. So before continuing, it's important that you're comfortable with those 3 chords so that you're free to concentrate on your strumming technique. Also, when you try the following strumming exercises, you can use either your fingernails to strum the strings, you can use the side of your thumb to strum the strings, or if you prefer, you can use the plectrum. So why not try all 3 methods and see which one works best for you. Because this is your first lesson on strumming, I'm going to keep it simple by using only down strums. Gradually, the complexity of the patterns will increase as you progress through the step-by-step syllabus. Don't forget to refer to your lesson notes for more information as you work through the following strumming patterns. For this first exercise, I'm going to begin by setting my metronome to 100 beats per minute. Using a metronome or a drum machine as a practice aid is the best way of developing your sense of timing, so I'd recommend using one from the very beginning. For this exercise, I'm going to use the nails of my first and second fingers to strum the strings. Keep your elbow resting on top of the guitar body, and also note that most of the strumming action comes from the rotation of the wrist, which you should try and keep relaxed. Once you've got the metronome set, form an A major chord and start by counting along with the metronome, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's start strumming one down strum for each of the 4 beats and try to keep counting. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's a very basic pattern to start with, but it's not as easy as it looks, especially when you're trying to keep in time with the metronome. Once you feel comfortable at that tempo, you could try speeding up or even slowing it down. Also, try strumming the guitar at different positions to vary the tone. For instance, if you strum back near the bridge, it will produce a bright tone, whereas strumming further forward over the fingerboard will produce a warmer tone. Once you've got that, you're ready to move on to the next pattern. As a variation on the previous strumming pattern, this time I'm going to leave out the second strum of the bar. Your initial reaction will probably be to stop the strumming motion on the second beat, but it's very important that you keep it going. And just move your strumming hands slightly away from the strings on the second beat. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The reason for this is that it helps you keep in time with the metronome, and even though it might seem awkward at first, in the long run it will pay off. To help, instead of counting 1, 2, 3, 4, try counting 1, miss, 3, 4. 1, miss, 3, 4. With the second beat missing, you should hear a slightly different rhythm to the first pattern that we tried. For this exercise, instead of strumming with my fingernails, I'm going to strum with the side of my thumb, and this will produce a more mellow tone. Let's try this one with a D chord, and remember, with a D chord, you should only play the top 4 strings. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, miss, 3, 4. 1, miss, 3, 4. 1, miss, 3, 4. 1, miss, 3, 4. Okay, try practicing that one. Now let's try missing the third beat of the bar. Try counting 1, 2, miss, 4, 1, 2, miss, 4. And don't forget to keep the strumming motion going on the third beat, but just lift your hands slightly away from the strings. This time I'm going to use a plectrum to strum the strings, and this will produce a louder, brighter tone. Hold it between your thumb and first finger, or if you prefer you can hold it between your thumb and second finger. And remember to use the point of the plectrum to strum the strings. Also don't hold it too tightly or it will make your playing sound a little bit rigid. We'll try this one with an E chord. So again, with our metronome set to 100 beats per minute, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, miss, 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 4. For this last exercise, we'll miss out the fourth beat of the bar. So this time try counting 1, 2, 3, miss, 1, 2, 3, miss. But again, make sure you keep the strumming motion going through the fourth beat. I'm going to try this one with an A chord. 1, 2, 3, miss, 1, 2, 3, miss. Miss, 1, 2, 3, miss, 1, 2, 3, miss, 1, 2, 3, miss. This time I'm going to do the same thing again, but I'm going to change chords from A to D to E to D. Missing out the fourth beat when changing to another chord is quite helpful because it gives you a little extra time to position your fingers on the next chord. So here we go, A, D, E and D. Try that count again. 1, 2, 3, miss. 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 So that was an introduction to strumming, and now you can see that the way a guitarist creates different rhythms is by missing certain beats of the bar but without stopping the strumming action. Take the time to perfect this technique before you move on to more complex patterns, making sure that you can repeat the patterns consistently without making mistakes, and don't forget to play along with the metronome to develop your timing. You can find the patterns that we've looked at today in the notes that accompany this lesson. I look forward to seeing you in lesson 7, where I'll show you some basic fingerstyle patterns to add another aspect to your chord playing. I'll see you then.